story of my loss was in March of 2012. After being married for almost 60 years, I lost my wife to Alzheimer's disease. And I was her caregiver for 4.5 years, and I finally had to put her in a rest home, and she passed away there. And it has been a long, difficult 2 years to be by myself after all of those years being with a great gal.
My son was 27 years old when he died. He was living in Rochester with his mother. I live here in Syracuse. I had gotten off of work, got a phone call. Unfortunately, I can remember it too well. I got a phone call at about 11:30. My wife crying, saying that my son had died. We had no idea how or why he died. At that time, we had no idea how and why he died. I do know now, but it's taken me 3 years to be able to talk about the fact that my son suicided. Literally 3 years, because it was just a month ago before I would allow myself to say that.
On September 15th, 2005, I went to work. I was managing a craft store, and I was taking about the day. My husband had been having trouble. He'd been in a psychiatric ward for 3 weeks. He's had some physical problems, which caused him to have basically a nervous breakdown, and I knew he was going to get better. So when I left that day, I didn't really think anything bad was going to happen, but I got a phone call from my son telling me the police had stopped at the house and said my husband had jumped off a bridge.
We lost our 6-year-old son June 13th, 2011. His name was Michael, and he had a Wilms tumor, a form of cancer. He was diagnosed at age 4, and we battled for 18 months, and he ended up passing away in June of 2011 from the disease.
Hope has helped me in so many ways. I used to drive by here to and from Wegmans, never knowing what hope was. And the day of my son's service, a former relative sent me a letter and said that she felt that I should come here. And I'm so glad I did. They saved my life, number one. I'm still here. They were warm. They were understanding. You could cry whenever and not be judged. It's just a wonderful agency, I think, because everybody here has experienced going through a death of someone close to them.
Hope has been what I like to say, my life jacket. When Michael died, I didn't know how we would move forward. I didn't know how we would get up the next day. And it was a few months after he passed away that an acquaintance, not someone I knew very well, sent us some newsletters that Hope has each month, and I read them and never knew they existed. Of course, never had a need for Hope, and saw that they had a children's group, and that was my first ray of light. I thought to bring Parker here and let him be around other kids who experience the same feelings that he did, the same feelings of loss, and I thought it might help him. I wasn't really thinking of myself at the time.
I especially feel passionate about getting the word out about hope because I spent 5 months white-knuckling it. And I would have been spared all that time feeling so desperately alone in my pain and my grief and my fear and everything had I known about hope. You know, I didn't know that hope was here. I had no idea. So I really, really think it's important that we get the word out that there is a place for people to come and get help and heal.
Hope has about 12 support groups, all of different structure, more or less, suicide, youth. People just do not know how to deal with grief, and many, many times, and they need to be able to talk about something like this, your feelings, and people have no idea what it is to lose someone until you lose someone. And people in general need this assistance.
Over on Old Liverpool Road, there's the Butterfly Garden. I have a brick over there with my son's name on there. There's so many bricks that are there. And it's a nice, peaceful place to be. It really and truly is. My mother and my son's obituaries are on this wall. They are, both of them. This place does a lot to help you get through what's going to happen to each and every one of us, if not to us personally, to somebody that we know. This is a place to come to find peace with that.